This week's episode brought to you by Burrow Bags Unlimited. Here at Burrow Bags Unlimited Burlap Bag Production Co., we understand that our bags are going to be used for a wide variety of applications, such as potato and food storage, mushroom collection receptacles, dry goods hampers, hiding disfigured faces of psychopathic murderers, keeping the frost off your late fall crops, dismembered body parts bins, and so much more. Burrow Bags have been designed with you in mind. Contact us at 1-800-BURROW-BAG for a free catalog. Hi, David Day here. Want to hear a story about my nose and ear hair? Help to support the show by supporting those who advertise with us. Manscaped.com has given our listeners code HMT to use at checkout that will get you 20% off and free shipping on all products at Manscaped.com. Make sure to listen to the mid-roll following our scores for the movie to hear all about my ear and nose hair.
Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
Took a stroll through the scraggly woods. He had no face! Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it. Eat it. New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk. This is your host, Professor David Day, or something like that. And across from me sits
Dr. Bryce Hansen.
Yeah, he holds his PhD in spookology. You guys, as we record this, it's Christmas today. It doesn't make a difference to you because to you, it's almost Friday the 13th. That's November. So
you know, you said it's Christmas. You meant Halloween.
Did I say Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, we went on a walk last night, and there was a bunch of houses with fucking Christmas trees in the window, and I was like, there was like three. Like,
there's a meme where they look at Google Trends, and they look up the search the Mariah Carey
song, and that little movement like, towards playing the Mariah Carey Christmas song. Well, it is the best Christmas song, maybe, in existence.
Sure. I mean, it's the best modern Christmas song, definitely.
Anyway, it's almost Friday the 13th. It will be in 2 days. And you guys, we got a great show for you today. But first, you should check out our website over at horrormovietalk.com. From there, you'll find links to all of our social media. We have a Facebook group called the Horror Movie Talk Facebook group or something like that.
It's popping. There's over 500 members now.
It's just growing and growing and growing. And yeah, it's crazy. And there's a lot of nice, kind people on there with like cool... that do little crafty shit that I would never dream of doing for myself. And, you know, and then, hey, take pictures of stuff. Anyway, you guys should check it out. Check out all our social media. Follow us on we have a subreddit. We post new episodes every single Wednesday, so make sure to subscribe and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. If you like or hate any of the things we say, you can leave us an angry or happy voicemail at 682-253-4468. We have a fabulous episode for you today, my babies. We got Friday the 13th.
You just tapped into Jackal. My babies.
Jackal. Today we will be talking about Friday the 13th Part 2. We'll start out by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We score on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a miserable dredge where it makes you angry, 5 being an average enough film that hits all the expected marks, and 10 being so good that it transcends genre boundaries. After that, after we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later in this episode, we will be doing HMT which is a little bit where we,
just listen to our voicemails.
Yeah, we listen to our voicemails. So we've been letting those build up like thick, ropey loads of cum in our ball sacks. Which are
speaking of ball sacks,
tell me about your balls.
Use code HMT at checkout at manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping.
That's right. So let's get into it. Friday the 13th Part 2 is available pretty much wherever you rent movies. I watched it on Amazon. Where'd you watch it?
I watched it on the internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It is the continuation and borderline recreation of the first part in the franchise. The old proverb, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, rings so true in this sequel that I'm not even mad that I watched the same movie all over again. There were new counselors at Camp Crystal Lake, and damn it, they had to pay. They never seem to learn, and that's what I love about kids these days.
Oh, wait a minute. They weren't actually at Camp Crystal Lake. They were at an adjacent camp.
Right, yeah,
and the Camp Blood was the legendary.
That was the original camp.
Right,
this is Camp Crystal Lake or something like that. It's who this is not a movie to be nitpicked.
We can't be bothered to pay attention to.
Well, it's not even that. It's just this movie does not need to be nitpicked. It's a simple movie for a man of simple taste. Here's the trailer.
On a June night in 1980, Friday the 13th, 12 of her friends were murdered. Why should Friday the 13th, 1981 be any different? Friday the 13th, Part 2. The body count continues. 14.
All doomed. You're all doomed.
15. God. 16. Help! 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23.
Sandra? Jeff?
The day you count on for terror is not over. Friday the 13th, Part 2.
So, Friday.
Man, what was our ad on the original Friday the 13th? I can't remember what we did.
And
incorporated the.
Oh yeah, it was like Tic Tacs or something like that.
Oh yeah,
it was
Tic Tac.
yours.
That's right.
Yeah, it was yours. That was a good one. So Friday the 13th Part 2 picks up. Yeah, if you guys haven't heard our review for the first Friday the 13th, we reviewed that back in like May or June of this year. So you should check that out because it's basic. Well, you'll see. Friday the 13th Part 2 picks up the reins from the first movie and just does it all over again.
Just goes around the horse track again.
Just the whole thing again. Holy moly! Come to think of it, as this episode. Oh, I already said that. Holy moly! As come to think of it, as this episode of Horror Movie Talk released Friday the 13th is just 2 days away. Part 2, 2 days. Coincidence? I don't know. That's a stupid thing for you to listen to me say. So with Friday the 13th Part 2, there is a new camp in town around Camp Crystal Lake, or around Crystal Lake, and wow, it looks pretty much just like the camp from the first movie. The driveway, the Doom Prophet, the buildings in the camp, the boobs, it's all the same.
No, the boobs are much better in this one.
Wow. You know, that's a pretty misogynist thing to say. Two things have, and you know, that's reflected in our reviews. Two things have changed. There is a new group of campers, or counselors, I should say, and a new killer. Our last killer, Mrs. Voorhees, was killed by beheading while seeking vengeance for her son, Jason, who she thought died due to, in her eyes, negligent camp counselors. This time around, we get to learn a bit more about Jason and what makes him tick. My review for Friday the 13th Part 2 is this doesn't do much to add anything new to the story, but it does give us Jason, and to be honest, that's enough for me. That's all I expected. I can't quite pin down the difference, in my opinion, between Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, but they are the two least complicated and most iconic slasher baddies.
Yeah, it's still amazing to me how long it takes for Jason to be Jason.
Yeah. In the series.
In the series. Like,
yes.
Even in the third movie,
it's still not quite
there.
Not quite right.
It takes 3 movies to get to the hockey mask.
Yeah, I mean,
which is insane.
Right. But, and then I think Kane Hodder comes in around 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. It might be
6.
Yeah, it's not 4. I think it's 6. You're right. And then he really solidifies the Jason
heavy breathing.
Yeah, the Jason character. But anyway, I can't quite pin down the difference in my opinion between Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. They are the two least complicated and most iconic slasher baddies. I can say though, Bryce, that I tend to prefer Jason, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the super distilled execution of the script, like horny youth must die. Or maybe it's the unapologetic grab at quick cash, like horny youth, pay to see horny youth while horny. Maybe it's I probably shouldn't go any further into that.
There's almost no distinction, especially early on.
Oh yeah, no.
Like this movie and Halloween or Halloween 2 are pretty much exactly the same.
Halloween much slower than either of these. Halloween is kind of like a proto slasher.
They use the same gags.
Oh
same.
Well, fairly
kills.
similar. Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah,
I think the one difference in in Friday the 13th, the original one, is you never see the killer until the very end.
Yeah, you just see hands and feet.
Yeah, in Halloween you get to see Michael Myers all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's not really a twist if you just take the first one as the first one, having no knowledge of a franchise that goes on for 20 movies, following the first one.
Well, it is a twist because you don't imagine that it's going to be some old lady,
right? There's a lot of gender bending in the early slashers.
Sorry, spoilers.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, I already said
a 40-year-old movie.
I already said I already gave away that Mrs. Voorhees died in the first one. Anyway, so I tend to prefer Jason. Do you have a preference?
I couldn't.
Between Michael Myers and Jason?
I could not give half a rat's ass.
Oh, wow. Ugh. This doesn't bode well, people. This is a paint-by-numbers slasher, but it was released only a year after arguably the first honest-to-goodness modern slasher, and that was the original Friday the 13th. So whatever. I kind of count Halloween as kind of a proto-slasher. It was that was one of the very first ones, and the tropes and stuff hadn't been quite as refined at that point.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's...
Whereas Friday the 13th really condensed and distilled it all into just this neat little package of kill, 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 done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd still say Halloween's the first modern slasher, where it's it's got all the parts. I think...
I disagree. I'd say it's not distilled enough.
Friday the 13th has everything compressed in the way that you expect it to now. So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's the modern version,
right? I mean, there's still exploitative sex stuff in Halloween, but that's all that Friday the 13th is.
Yeah. Is there exploitative sex? There's a little bit. It's not nearly to the extent if it's there in the original Halloween. I'm just having trouble.
There's some tits in Halloween.
Okay.
Like when the girl gets strangled.
Oh,
with the phone cord and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, here, look at us arguing over strangulations and tits. It's fun.
What have we become?
Anyway, whatever. It's still the basis for most slashers to this day, and it's maybe the most engaging of the bunch that I've seen, with the exception of meta slashers like Scream. So my score for this movie, I enjoyed it a decent amount. I enjoyed the first one to a tune of I gave the first one a score of 7, and I'd say this one comes in a little bit below that just because it doesn't bring anything much new to the table. So I give this one a 6. What do you think?
I think this one's actually better than the original.
Okay.
By a little bit. I can't remember what score I gave the original, but I would give this one a 7. Yeah, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because, like, there's it starts adding some of the surreal or like the ridiculous kills into it. It has my absolute favorite kill of any slasher.
You cannot beat the kill you're referring to is almost unbeatable. I don't know that I've ever seen a more impressively shot kill or a more goofy.
Yeah,
like it's simultaneously very impressive and very goofy.
Because this is only Friday the 13th part 2, so it's like there's not that many well, I guess there's probably a billion slashers by this point, but like it seems pretty early to be playing with the tropes,
right?
Of like the killer stuff. We'll talk about my favorite scene in the spoilers.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, is there any spoilers for this movie? Everyone dies. There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone dies except one person.
Right, and you know, I mean. Yeah, no, this is my point. There are no spoilers for this movie because you already saw it if you saw the first one. Yeah. I'm not joking. It's down to the sets. The sets are the exact same. So you've seen it. Anyway.
Well, the main house is a little different.
A little different. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. But it shows up in the first one, I think. I think it makes a guest appearance. So anyway, you guys, I mentioned at the start of the show that I'd really appreciate if you guys supported the advertisers who support us. Without them, we are a mere husk. So, like I said, and we want Shudder to become, a full-fledged advertising partner. So if you guys could pony up, that'd be great. As the world's premier streaming service for horror, thriller, and supernatural content, Shudder is spooky 24/7, 365, and just because Halloween has come and passed doesn't mean that the scares don't continue. That's right. You guys should sign up for Shudder and get access to the largest collection of acclaimed horror movies and series streamed right to your favorite devices. Some of the titles that show up this November are Creepshow, the animated special, which is a Shudder original series. I've started that one. I like it quite a bit. Also, Leap of Faith. William Friedkin of The Exorcist is in that one. Blood Vessel, and also Scare Me, starring Josh Rubin, Aya Cash, and Chris Redd. Let's see here. So we use Shudder pretty much constantly. I mean, we have for over a year now. Mm-hmm. And it's just great if you love horror. I really enjoyed the original series Blood Machines. It has like this really Mandy vibe, only with a lot more boobs. So what have you watched on Shudder recently?
I think, what have I watched recently? I can't remember it's all a blur, but I know that some of my favorite stuff on there is the documentary. So like the horror noir.
Oh yeah.
Is a fantastic doc. Made me really, appreciate the history of, black horror.
And they have the 80s horror doc on there, which we actually interviewed.
In Search of Darkness.
Yeah.
The producer.
What's it called?
In Search of Darkness.
In Search of Darkness. That's right.
I think that's right. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, it is. And they're making a second one of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, get started streaming the best horror, thriller, and supernatural content. Shudder's expertly curated collection includes titles like Tigers Are Not Afraid, One Cut of the Dead, Revenge, and of course the Creepshow TV series, which I enjoy. So to try Shudder free for 30 days, go to shudder.com. That's SHUDDER.com, and use promo code HMT at checkout. And that gets you 30 free days instead of that stupid fucking 7-day free trial that we hate so much. Also, you can help out the show and help out your nuts / ear and nose / just body in general if you head on over to manscaped.com and enter HMT at checkout, which gets you 20% off all products and free shipping on those products. And okay, so a weird thing happened to me in my probably 31st year of life. I'm now 36. But I started growing hair where there wasn't hair before, Bryce.
Yeah.
I started growing a lot of really stiff, thick, ropey hairs out of my ears and nose. Big, fat, fucking like tree stumps of hair.
Yeah, the nose hair, it's impressive when you realize like how
it's like tickling your brain.
Because they're so long.
It's incredible.
They go all the way back up there.
And they come out. They come out. And then fucking ladies look at me and they're like, ew. Dude, it's incredible. Yeah, there's the ladies look at me and they're just,
ew, no, David.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Ew, David. Ew, David.
Yeah, they don't like it. But I got the Manscaped ear and nose hair trimmer, and it's done. It's no more. Like, it used to be I had to, like, guess at where, I had to, like, gauge in the mirror, look in the mirror, like, have bad depth perception because I'm so close to the mirror and I'm you know how it is. You're basically eyeing one eye. And anyway, now I just take that nose hair trimmer and just jam it in my ear. And then it's done. You get all those stumps out of there. And you know what? The place on your body where staph just sits is your nose. It just sits in there. And so if you pull those out, if you yank them out, you're creating a wound in your nose. And a lot of people will get staph infections in their nose because of it.
Wow, that's exactly what I do. So I need to get a
That's what I do too. Trimmer. Well, not anymore. Yeah. And it doesn't yank or pull or anything like that. So it's pretty good.
But really their premier products are their ball trimmers.
Oh yeah, but also the toner and the cleansers.
Yeah. Just everything that you could possibly do to pamper and please your balls are at manscaped.com.
Poof them little nut puppies up. So you guys don't have some girl just being like,
ew, no, David.
Or,
oh my God, ew, David.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want them to be happy. You want them to be saying,
oh, yay, David. Yay.
So head on over to manscaped.com and enter HMT at checkout. That gets you free shipping and 20% off your order. If you want to support the show directly, you can do so by becoming a patron. Lots of people have decided to become patrons this week. Many of whom we have to thank on this show very shortly. Maybe if Bryce could turn around and find those new patrons.
Yeah, we got...
And then...
Oh, do you want me to tell them now?
Yeah,
okay. So there's Andrew the Roberts and Martin S.
Thank you both very much for becoming patrons. And
yeah, we had a really nice comment on our Horror Movie Talk Facebook group from Kitty, just saying that it's totally worth it being a Patreon member. And she said that she joined at the highest tier and that it's got a great community. I can't remember all the things she said, but it was a glowing review of our Patreon offering. So go to our Facebook group and try to find that post. And I think all our patrons don't regret getting it if they like us.
Well, look, here's the thing. We are consistently doing shit on our Patreon, which is 90% of all the Patreon pages I go to are just dead. They just have people giving them money for nothing, seemingly nothing, for an initial shout out. And then it's like, sorry, we haven't had to do our page. It's like a forgotten YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That makes money, but we put out content on that every week. We got the after show, the after pod that, we just leave the mics running, and then you can, if there's early access to episodes, and then, if you pony up for the highest level of patronage, you get to vote on one movie a month for us to review. So you get to kind of guide our boat.
Yep.
So anyway,
and just a warning, sounds like the November vote is almost locked in, and Magnus is going to be very pleased.
Yeah, very, very happy, probably.
So stay tuned.
I imagine. So another way you can support us and rep our HMT stuff is if you head on over to horrormovietalk.com/shop, or just, browse to the shop link at the top of the page there at horrormovietalk.com, and you can buy a shirt or a sticker, and if you buy some of the stickers that Dustin Goebel has made, some of that goes to supporting him and his family, and his kids need wine, so make sure to buy some stuff on the HMT shop. And you can also support the podcast by buying or renting any movie or product on Amazon. If you click through the green button in the header of our website, this is buy stuff on Amazon. And also you guys should check out our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who fucks so hard, baby. He also takes commissions for artwork from HMT fans. Contact him at dgoebel00, that's at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram, and make your artistic dreams come true. And make sure to tell him that HMT sent you. Finally, if you'd like to complain about the length of our mid-roll, you can do so by calling 682-253-4468. That gets you through to our voicemail line. Leave us a message and let us know what you think. Thanks again for listening. And let's get into spoiler. Spoilers.
Wow, that was a good one.
David, the pedals make it move more.
These are I went through Schitt's Creek. We've been watching Schitt's Creek on repeat.
Yeah. I just finished I just randomly turned on The Office somewhere in the 6th or 7th season, and I just did a full run through from that point on.
Yeah, we went through The Office 4 or 5 times, and then we moved on to Schitt's Creek because we had watched it once through, and now we're on our third go through. But
Ouch, David. Ouch, David.
I gotta say, people hate on the last couple seasons of
I do not
The
like
Office.
it. I do not like the last couple seasons of The Office.
I like the last season. I do. I think they did some really interesting stuff with Jim and Pam.
Ew. Ew, David. Ew, no, David. Oh my God. Ew, David.
But 8th season is a little iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the worst. I can't remember when James Spader comes on, but James Spader's great. But a lot of anything that doesn't is it James Spader?
No, you're
James
thinking
Spader.
of Will Ferrell.
No, I'm talking about Robert California. What's his name?
I don't know.
Is it James Spader?
David, that's poor right now.
We're talking about Friday the 13th Part 2.
Yeah, so at the start of Friday the 13th Part 2, we just basically get a full recount of the first movie in the dream of the girl who lived through the first movie.
The final girl is the first girl. in this movie.
Right. So in this, she has this dream. It's just a full scene by scene of the first movie. And then she wakes up and gets stabbed through the temple after finding a head in her refrigerator. And it's
Step through the temple with a screwdriver, isn't it?
Yeah, something. It's on. The movie kicks off and just gets rolling. It's
Yeah, at once it's completely unnecessary to do that, to recap the first one. And at the same time, it's also kind of necessary because they completely switch it up. And it even makes no sense because we see the flashback of her getting grabbed from the canoe by a little boy zombie
Yeah.
from the lake.
Uh-huh.
And now she's being attacked by a full-grown man, Jason.
Yeah, he looked...
You smell that?
Retard stank.
He looked a little funky.
Yeah, it's... Jason is not super consistent throughout the Friday the 13th series until much later.
Right.
Like, I don't think any time they show his face is completely different every time.
Oh, yeah, well, that never stops. It's... the only thing that's consistent, I think, is in the third movie, he gets like a hatchet through the mask, and it makes the notch.
Yeah.
So, like, you'll see the part 3 masks, and they don't have the notch. And then you see every mask following that. That's the only consistent through line for Jason that's truly consistent. Like, his makeup changes every single time. I mean, Kane Hodder adds, some consistency in acting. But, yeah, in terms of visuals, it's...
So, yeah, it connects the first movie to this one by the first kill, but also completely ignores who Jason was in the first movie.
Right. Yeah. And he's doing a weird thing, which he's like, for this first kill, he's like left the woods. He's like ventured into a town, and
he's gone into suburbia.
Yeah, and the thing that I kind of like about this first scene is it establishes the fake outs. A lot of fake outs. There's a shower fake out, very Psycho-esque, like, oh, this is going to be a Psycho. Nope. And then, and then there's like the front door fake out. There's a lot of fake outs. And then finally...
There's like the cat jumping out the window.
Yeah. And I like the fake outs a lot.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, how did Jason find her? Like, just think about the logistics of that. It's either he has like an internal like compass that leads him to the people that he meant to kill but couldn't, which is supernatural and makes sense in a horror movie. Or just imagine like Jason walking up to, like a phone book or just asking someone on the street and like calling 411 with the bag on his head and like,
have you heard of anyone?
I don't know her name.
Do you know?
But she looks like this.
Yeah, she looks like the...
He holds up a drawing, and it's just of a stick figure.
Yeah, I'm looking for a missing girl.
I didn't go missing, David. The FBI knew where I was the entire time.
Sorry. So anyway, yeah, this it really sets up the whole rest of the movie in a nice way. Then some kids are headed into town, into near Crystal Lake there, the little quaint little town, and what do? They meet the Doom guy. You're doomed. And it's the same guy. And he's like, I told you, kids, you're doomed. And I'm like,
it's the first time we came here.
What are you talking about, old man?
That is probably the best part of that is the reaction. Like the guy, I think he's on the phone when it happens too, isn't he?
Like,
he's like, just,
I got a quarter in, buddy.
What the? Just kind of squints at him.
Yeah, squints at him and is like, oh, you're nuts. Okay, yeah. So they get their truck stolen, but it's just their friend getting his buddy to josh him, and oh man, we're gonna head to the camp. We're gonna have a great time.
So yeah, they go to the camp, and it's pretty much exactly the same setup. There's a group of teenagers that are camp counselors that are getting the camp ready, I assume. Mm-hmm. And then there's the adult, like, I don't think it says
adult-ish.
Yeah, it doesn't say that he's the owner, but he's the older guy.
Yeah.
That also wants to fuck one of the camp counselors.
Right, yeah.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
So he's given this talk, he's talking to the council, he's boning them up on what they need to know to be camp counselors. And then
the worst thing you have to fear in the camp is bears.
So ladies, keep your menstrual cycles in check. Mm-hmm. Keep clean down there, because a bear can smell that shit for miles.
Yeah.
Is this where that trope started?
Maybe.
I've never heard this in movies.
I'm pretty
before
sure
this.
that trope started in prehistoric times when bears started.
In
coming
movies,
after.
I mean, in movies.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, you have to keep yourself clean in the woods because the bear can smell that for miles, and everybody knows that.
I had a conversation, I can't remember with who, but what would it be like if men had menstrual cycles?
Oh,
if we had...
Glorious.
Like, what would be the difference? Like, in terms of, like, acceptance in products?
I mean, I'll tell you what, there'd be a lot more buying of like, the clothing obsession would be mostly on men because we're not responsible enough to ever pre-plan for that stuff. It'd just
Right.
just be dudes walking all over the place with bloody pants.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. It's like, that's
No.
a real possibility.
No
of
shame.
like, it's like, what? I'm bleeding. Fuck you.
Oh my god, ew, David.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Men would be so gross as women.
Yeah.
I mean,
It would
not to say, if you're a man who's trying to be a woman, you're not gross. I'm just saying I would be bad at being.
I mean, if you
Oh my god.
would having a menstrual cycle and bleeding on your pants, because you're not gonna remember, it'll be just a permanent feature on jeans. It's like the red stripe, because
you know
all
what
men aren't gonna get like the products, and all men aren't gonna ever wash their jeans.
You know what it would be?
So it's just gonna be normal.
It'd be men shaming men who have light cycles. You're like, you're not bleeding very much there, bro.
Look at that little spot, you little
Pansy. What's that all about? Look at I got gallons, bro. Gallons.
watch this. And he just goes, just squeezes it out.
Ew. David.
Ew.
Ew.
All right, that's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it would be.
Yeah,
you're completely
shaming
right.
Based on the amount of blood you could produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, what's that? Is that what you call your period?
Oh, is that all? You'd be like, fuck you, dude. I'm at the end of my cycle.
Yeah, it's just a light day. I swear to God, guys, it's just a light day.
Me on a light day is a bucket.
And then, you know, it would also be a lot of socks jammed up. There.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It'd just be a lot of socks.
Yeah.
I use socks for everything.
Yeah.
Like old gross socks get turned into like oil rags and shit, you know. Now it would just be they'd just be like
shoved up in there,
reusable tampons.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Ew,
we solved
David.
it.
Ew.
Yeah. So as he's giving the bone you up on how to be a camp counselor topic, his girlfriend, his love interest / teenage girl, drives up in a Volkswagen, and she's late, and that turns into a thing, and you know then they establish their little lovey-dovey way. But the most important part of this is that the Volkswagen is unreliable. Mm-hmm. You know, she tries to start it, can't start it. So now we go, oh, I wonder if somebody's going to get in this car later in the movie and it won't start.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, so that's the important part.
See, that's the thing. My problem with these slashers is that, like, I just can't care about any of the characters because they're so. I've watched this movie twice now.
Yeah.
And I can only identify like 5 or 6 characters in the whole movie. Like
by name? I can't believe you can do that.
Well, I can't do it by name. I'm talking about general, like,
looks.
There's the older guy.
Yeah.
And the counselor that he's fucking.
Uh-huh. Which she's just a beautiful woman.
She's
so blonde. It's astonishing.
Yeah. There's the couple with like the show-stopping gorgeous woman.
Oh yeah, with the hard body.
Yeah, the hard body. And then the guy that's like
so creepy,
constantly wanting to fuck her.
The ultimate ultra creepy dude.
And then there's the goofy lanky guy.
Yeah, the goofy lanky guy. But you're missing the in love couple, the busty young gal and her long haired love interest.
Yes, I mean.
Well, they're in it from the start. They're the people who are in the telephone booth.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
It's just like, it does nothing for me. They're just so like, there's nothing there for me to latch onto.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And then, they kind of introduce the Jason myth.
Because they're completely redundant. Like that couple, the in-love couple, is redundant because of the hard body and creep couple.
But not only that, the Kevin Bacon and from the first movie and his girlfriend, right? So it's all been done before, and it's completely.
Yeah, I mean, it all runs together.
Yeah, so then they kind of get into the Jason myth of he never actually died. He's out living in the woods out there.
Yeah, because in the first, was there actual like campfire story? Was it the story of the camp that this killer was out there? Because I don't think so, right?
I don't know. What do you?
Because this is
how
like,
could you possibly remember that minutia?
This is kind of a new trope, is that you tell the spooky story around the campfire about the killer, and then you say, it's all fake.
Yeah. That's I can't be bothered to remember any of that. The bustiest of all the girls in this is featured prominently constantly because of her bust. And apparently, and I don't think I wrote her name down. Marta. I believe the actress who played her is called Marta, and they shot
So Marta Kober?
Yeah, Kober.
Played Sandra.
And so they shot a pretty gratuitous sex scene with her because boobs. And then following that, once it hit the editing room floor, they found out that she was only 16.
Holy shit.
And during the shooting of this movie, and they were like, we better cut that out. So if you liked the look of Marta, you're a fucking pedophile. That's how that works. I think is you're a pedophile now. So gross.
Ew, David.
Yeah.
Ew, no, David.
No.
Oh my God, ew, David.
Ew, David. So at this point, Marta and her boyfriend are caught by the cops lurking around the old Camp Blood, right? They're lurking around the old Camp Blood. The cop comes by. He's like, "Hey, this Barry's off limits, you two." He brings them into the counselor leader guy, and he's like, "What are you gonna do with these two?" And he's like, "I'm not gonna give them dessert." And he's kind of spitting in the face of the cop. So as the cop leaves, what happens? As the cop leaves, he's driving away from the camp, and then there's kind of like a Bigfoot sighting. It's like Jason running across the road real quick, just like Bigfoot would.
Yeah. Who's that there?
And who's that out there? And he gives chase. He gives chase for no apparent reason other than a man ran across the road. And long flabby arm of the law.
Can you imagine? You're like a small town cop. Like, do you think they give two fucks about what happens at those camps?
No.
Like,
oh my God, no.
Who cares? Like,
yeah.
You're not supposed to be at this closed camp.
This other camp that's 30 meters away? No.
It's like, okay.
I know they use the same driveway, but no. So, yeah, he gives chase and he gets all the way out into the middle of the woods where Jason has like a ramshackle shack, like an old cabin. And inside that cabin, he sees something. You can tell. He sees it like John Travolta sees what's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. He's like, what the fuck is that? He opens that door and there's like light. And he's like, and we don't get to see what it is because he gets claw hammered in the back of the head. One of the things that I got to say about part 2, Jason does not have an allegiance to a weapon.
No. He is not tied to the butcher knife. He's not tied to anything. He's
got a new weapon in every scene. It's almost a continuity error.
Right.
It's like hammer, knife, spear, trident. Like he's got it all. Like he's got every single weapon available. So anyway, he gets this guy with a claw hammer. And then we kind of get to see the kids.
There's something about a claw hammer to the head death. Like, it's just, just thump.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just done. Those ones are rough because it's dull, but it's also sharp.
Jeffrey Dahmer would get ready, buckle up. So Jeffrey Dahmer, first he just would kill people, and then he's like, I kind of want to fuck these people that I kill, but they have.
But specifically wanted to fuck a zombie.
I don't really want to fuck dead people necessarily. I'd really rather them be alive, but they're really problematic when they're alive. So maybe I could just lobotomize them. So he would drill into the front of their head, scoop around, or sometimes he would do chemical lobotomies. He'd pour a little bit of something in there.
Yeah, put some acid in there.
Some dangerous acidic chemical. And then he'd keep them alive in his apartment, and have sex with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a story where one of those guys escaped, was running naked in the street.
Yes.
Was found by a police officer.
Yep.
And then Jeffrey Dahmer came, because the guy is was lobotomized.
Yeah.
He's not able to.
Jeffrey runs up and he's like, I'm sorry, this is my
This is just a lover's quarrel. I'm sorry to bother you, officer. And he's like, oh, oof.
Whoa, hey.
This is
not well
70s.
known. I don't know if this is well known, but Jeffrey Dahmer was gay.
Yeah.
Or something well beyond gay, but he preferred men.
Yeah.
And man, if you want an interesting read about Jeffrey Dahmer, My Friend Dahmer is a comic.
And also a movie now.
Yeah, it's also a couple movies, but you should the best way to take that media in is definitely to read the comic.
Yeah.
You could get that on Amazon, but you should click through our link at the top of our site.
Anyways, we're talking about Friday the 13th part 2.
So then we get into then there's the split. The split happens. So the counselors are like, half of them are like, hey, let's go into town and party, and the other half of them are like, I'd rather stay in / fuck here. And so they split up. The group splits, is cut in two. The no pun intended. Half of them head into town to a bar, little casino / bar, and the other half stick around. And it is at this point that I noted the reverence for the American flag. That's right. This is the first thing you'd expect me to bring up when talking about Friday the 13th part 2. But these kids, these young horny kids, walk out onto the porch of their establishment, and they take the flag and they respectfully, they don't fold it necessarily, but they take it in at night because there's not a light on it. Right. And that just struck me. There was something about that was like, yeah, okay.
There are some things more important than fucking.
Yes. Like the American flag, god damn it.
I think you skipped over the best part, which was the introduction of the characters that I don't know. Well, let's just call her Hard Body.
Hard Body, yeah.
In those short shorts with her ass hanging out. Oof.
Wow.
Huh.
Wow. Okay. Bryce, you need to reel it in a little bit.
I respect women. I very much respect that woman.
David, this is so awkward.
Why do you respect her more than most?
I don't know what I can say about this without eliciting more 1-star reviews, but I'll just speak my truth.
Okay.
I liked it. It made me feel good feelings, and I would like to watch it again.
It's not okay for you to feel good feelings because you are a white male. You're cis white fuck. Whore. And you're
so wait, I'm just supposed to feel bad all the time?
All the time. If you don't, we're doing it wrong.
Well, I must be doing pretty good then. My lifelong clinical depression is accomplishing that goal.
I'm dead inside. This is a real call for help. Fucking kill me, bro. So the hard body has that creeper just basically attached to her.
Yeah.
And this, this is actually a good segue into this because it would be so fucking annoying to be a super attractive woman and just have dudes just being like following you through the woods to watch you skinny dip, like following you at any point in the day, just being like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing now? Are you taking off your clothes? I was just over here.
I love this would only happen in movies. A single attractive female going skinny dipping alone.
Like, I gotta say, I'm kind of creeped out by nighttime skinny dipping.
Nighttime. I mean, isn't that the only time to skinny dip?
No.
Yeah, that's like the only time I would skinny dip is at the nighttime.
Ew, David.
No.
That's got to be like 99% of skinny dipping is at night.
You can't see what's down there.
You're not. No one wants people to see what's down there.
I mean the other thing.
Unless you use Manscaped tools like the perfect. What's the product called?
The Perfect Package 3.0.
Perfect Package 3.0 will get those balls gleaming under that water.
Seriously though,
use code HMT at checkout.
Seriously though, buy things at Manscaped and use HMT because we really need the help.
Like, so only in movies would a single alone girl go skinny dipping. Like that. Skinny dipping is a social thing, isn't it?
Wow, you're just segueing into sexist thing after sexist thing.
Is it not?
What?
Would you ever go skinny dipping alone?
I think that's the only way I would ever go skinny dipping.
Okay. True. But yeah, I mean, that just seems so off to me. It seems like it's a taboo. That's the whole point. Is like,
dude. Some girls, I mean,
it's like
some people really like to swim. I mean,
sure,
plenty of people like to swim. But anyway, this guy's just sitting there in the bushes, just waiting, and he's constantly on this girl, just like always making eyes at her, just being like, and he's so creepy. That would be a burden in your life if you were so good looking. I mean, we don't have to worry about this, but.
Yeah, and it's this is the early 80s, so it's like real casual sexual assault,
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, I just told you're close and,
and she handles
basically
it.
Threatening to rape you.
She handles it
you're such
with an eye roll. Just a laugh and an eye roll. Simpler times.
What a rascal.
Simpler times.
I also like that, it basically shows her fully nude going into the lake. And when she comes out, her clothes are gone, and then she finally gets like the towel over her boobs, and then the guy gets caught in a snare. And I noticed that that towel is like taped to her nipples from that point on. Like when she's bending over and stuff, it's not. I mean, this is. I'm showing some of my cards a little too much, but yes, I was looking closely, and I noticed.
It's your job.
But I just thought it was interesting that
movie reviewer
that they were very concerned about modesty at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at some point it dips into the NC-17 territory, and the Friday the 13th franchise at this point did not have a lot in the way of public sympathy. It did have a lot in the way of butts in seats.
Right.
So they needed to tread lightly because there were plenty of people, I'm sure, who were rallying against Friday the 13th.
Think how cheap this movie was to make.
Just rock bottom prices.
If you look at any like independent, super, super cheap movie, they're all happening in the woods because you don't need to get clearance. You don't have to like pay for renting anything. You can always go to the same tree.
Yeah, I mean, we get hit up with a lot of free screeners for independent horror movies all the time. 99% of them take place in the woods because...
David, Dad's poor right now.
Because their dads are poor, and they can't afford a big blockbuster movie budget.
Yeah.
So, moving on, now they're talking at the bar, and our leading scream queen in this flick is talking about how hard it must have been for Jason, who we somehow now know to be alive, to have seen his mother killed in the last movie. His mom was just trying to stick up for him. He's been living out in the woods all this time, and then he has to see his poor mother decapitated.
Yeah.
And so she's really just trying to empathize with Jason, and because she's the only one that empathizes with Jason, she makes it. That's the girl who makes it. So there you go. All you have to do is feel sorry for your assailant.
Yeah, that is the one added thing that they add to this movie is a little bit of backstory for Jason.
Yeah.
And like and that cabin in the woods with his mom's head, like the shrine. It just adds a little something to Jason and the lore, and pretty soon they just like ignore all that anyways.
Yeah,
but
it's like, fuck this.
But for the time being, it makes this movie a little more interesting.
I got to say, like I said, I find the purity of the Friday the 13th movies it's freeing, it's liberating. There's not a lot of pretense. It doesn't. You know what? As Bugsy would say, not pretentious.
Not pretentious.
At all. Halloween is more pretentious than Friday the 13th.
Oh, no. Don't say that.
Oh.
Bugsy's going to come at you like a Tasmanian
Anytime
devil.
it's uncanny. Anytime you say anything bad about Halloween franchise, these people, and I just mean that in peace and love, kindness, these people come out of the woodwork and they're like, what did you say about Halloween? It's like, nothing. I'm so sorry.
How dare you criticize Halloween 3? It came out the year that I was born.
Yeah, it's
so.
I don't like you singling out people.
Singling out who?
I'm
saying my preference for why I like Halloween 3. Okay, so this is we got to talk about my favorite kill in all slasherdom is in this movie. It's the scene where the guy in the wheelchair gets killed. And it really plays with the tropes.
Oh man.
And like
this is maybe the best kill in all of slasher history.
Right. Cuz it shows the guy in the wheelchair and it shows the POV shot of the killer approaching the guy in the wheelchair from behind. And so you see the back of his head and it's very obviously like a handheld cam.
Yeah.
Slowly approaching. But then it does a reverse shot and you see behind the guy in the wheelchair and there's nothing there.
Right.
And it does it like 3 or 4 times. It's like, what? There's very obviously no one there.
It's a very Monty Python-esque dude running at the castle.
Yeah.
Very similar to that.
And then it shows like the last approach of the POV shot, and basically the back of the guy's head is taking up the whole frame, and then all of a sudden just a machete from the side of the frame like cuts his head in half basically.
Yeah, it's so shocking because it comes from a direction that you're not expecting at all.
Right.
And it shouldn't be
like it's not from the POV. Like you could not swing the machete from that vantage point,
right,
and make that kill.
Yeah, it's as if the cameraman's like got his arm extended fully and it's just like using his wrist, just like.
Yeah, that would have to be the world's strongest wrist.
Well, and that's the thing about Jason; he's overpoweringly strong.
But it's just so obvious that like the killer could not be from that point of view.
Yeah.
And then he gets chopped in the head, and then he wheels down the back of the stairs. So it's like
he falls down like 90 flights of stairs.
It's like the Exorcist stairs at this camp for some reason.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and I don't know how it's so shocking. I've seen everything, like I feel like there's nothing you can do to surprise me. This gets me every time. I'm like,
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's also well done.
It's everything. It's like it's great suspense, and it's confusing because you're like, well, they're ruining it by how they're shooting it.
Yeah.
But then you still get sucked into it, and then you get surprised.
Yeah, and then following that, Marta and her boyfriend are doing it in bed. They're kind of like enjoying the afterglow on top of each other, and they get impaled completely through by a spear.
Yeah, just ka-chunk. Spear. What camp just has a spear laying around?
And this is the actress named Marta. That's their actual actress. I can't. Oh, her name is Sandra. But they're all the same people.
Yeah.
But yeah, where is this spear coming? It's like a spearfishing spear or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a goddamn harpoon.
Yeah. Why would you have a harpoon at a lake?
I have no idea. Why anything?
Oh, they supply that lake with, tuna.
Well, interesting thing again about Marta. So as I was learning about how she was 16 years old in this, and that made it difficult on, for editing and stuff. I like one of the side links was like, check out where they are now. And it was like a, what do you call it? When you've been hauled into the pokey and they're taking pictures of you. A
headshot, or not headshot,
mugshot.
Mugshot, yeah.
Lots of mugshots of her online.
Really?
Lots. This woman got into meth. She's like 50 something now. Allegedly. I don't know. But it looks to me as if life is tough right now for Marta. Mm-hmm. So, bummer. But it's tough when you're young and beautiful not to succumb to all the.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. That's why we run a podcast now. A very successful podcast. So yeah, Marta and her boyfriend get impaled. Jason in this movie, I should say, the reason we have the burlap sponsorship is because Jason doesn't have his mask.
No.
Right? He's got a burlap bag over his head with one eye.
Yeah.
One eye cut out. So it's kind of... It's a different kind of Jason. He hasn't evolved into his final form.
Which is pretty cool.
His final form is space.
Yeah. Final form is just like a metal hockey mask fused to his head.
The shredder. Yeah.
Yeah. The bag is pretty great. Like, I think I appreciate all the different looks of Jason.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a lot more interesting, different aesthetics than you get with Michael Myers, I tell you what.
Michael Myers is like
a little different each time.
Yeah.
And,
it's wider.
And mostly it's downhill after the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say Halloween 4 has the worst Mike Myers mask. Isn't that weird?
Well, that's Bugsy's favorite movie, so you're going to be
golly,
fucked at this point.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Oh, golly.
No offense, David. David, what are you doing, David?
Yeah, no offense. Anyway, so yeah, now we get the fucking Volkswagen that won't start. Oh my God, Volkswagen, where am I going to? Oh no. And then, and then, she kicks Jason away. She's able to overpower Jason. And, while she's trying to start the car, and then the chase into the woods ensues. And this is a great chase.
Yeah. I love the establishing shot of the little puddle, because there's a very distinctive puddle with a rock, and they always show it as like they showed it with the cop, and in the cop chase with Jason, and in this chase they run across this very distinctive puddle to show that they both cross the same point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why that jumps out to me, but
I liked this in both the first one and this one. They didn't utilize the woods as much in the first one, which I found annoying, because it's like you have the whole woods out there. Like you can get away from the killer by going in the woods. Well, in this one, she runs directly into the woods, and man, my mind would be. Can you imagine? Okay. You have somebody after you with a trident.
I think it was a pitchfork.
Yeah, I could like to call it a trident, though. It's much more impressive. And you're running from them into the woods at night. what's going through your head?
Run faster.
And it just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods. And you're certain you don't know where you are.
Right.
And it's dark.
I would pull like the Hobbit thing where you just find a tree and you jump down and hide underneath it.
It seems solid. It seems like a solid way to go. The more sound you make, he's wearing a burlap bag on his head. He can't be hearing very well anyway.
Just stay on his right side.
Yeah, just stay out of the view of that left eye.
Yeah.
And anyway, I really appreciate the utilization of the woods. And then obviously there
should have been like more of a scene of Jason like dealing with the mask of the burlap sack, of just having to really turn his head these different angles to try, and then like try to push the, as he's holding a hammer, like push the mask against his face so he can see better out of it.
Right.
It's very much like the scene from Django Unchained with the Ku Klux Klan. Like, right. I can't see.
I can't see in these things. His idea was, no, this is a great, a great point. It, like maybe a shot of his naked head from behind, and then he puts the bag on it, and you see the hole show
on the back.
On the back, and he's like, and he's got to like twist it around. But anyway, inevitably they make it to Jason's hovel out in the woods, and she, this thing's falling apart. It's just basically a bunch of sticks that have been kind of haphazardly thrown together. And she makes it into the room. And this is a room where, he has...
There's a shrine to his mother's head, basically.
Right. He's got a bunch of candles lit and his mother's desiccated head sitting there in the middle of it. And then she gets an idea. She's like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to try it. Like, I'm all out of ideas. I've been chased through the woods.
I've tried nothing. I'm all out of ideas.
Right. I gotta come up with something. So she's like, I'll play his mom. So she's like,
she puts on her sweater.
Puts on the old gross sweater. And she's like, Jason, good boy, Jason, kneel down, suck my dick. And then, he does so. And her boyfriend lunges at him from behind, or was it her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, her boyfriend lunges at him from behind, tries to get him, wings him, gets murdered, and I can't remember. How did this whole thing end? Professionals.
Well, the boyfriend doesn't get killed at the cabin because at Jason's house, because they make it all the way back to the main camp house, don't they? And that's where...
Yes. They think they got him. They head back to the camp. They're in their little cabin.
Oh yeah,
and then they get the yes but no, but yes but no, but yes ending.
The best fake out of like the music just getting intense and something's at the door.
Yeah.
It's like, and then they open the door and it's a little fluffy dog and they're like,
oh, how fun.
And then the music instantly changes to like, yeah, like just very like the end of Steel Magnolias or something.
David, will
like
you please give me a hug?
Yes. It's a very hug-centric moment there.
Yeah.
It's just very Hallmarkian. And then she kind of backs up against the window and, rah, I gotcha. Gotcha, bitch.
That's kind of what Jason does.
Yeah.
The end of the movie is go, rah.
Yeah, so I love it. It does the fake-outs much better than most.
Yeah.
So, yeah, final recommendations. Yeah, if you like slashers, this is maybe the most pure form of that genre ever devised. It's as cut and dry as you can get, and it's also what some would call problematic, so it has that going for it as well. What do you think?
Yes, it's problematic for me.
Oh, yeah?
Because, yeah, I could watch one or two scenes of this movie over and over again.
Yeah.
It's I mean, if you like slashers and you haven't seen this movie, it's like,
yeah, what are you
doing?
What are you doing with your fucking life?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, let's move on to HMT whores. I love the way that ends. Whores. Yeah, so you guys give us a call at 682-253-4468, and you can leave a voicemail for the show, and we'll play it on the air probably, maybe, even if you're drunk. And, or high or freaking out, or if you should be calling 911, we'll play it. This is entertainment here, as people. So
I'm looking forward to. Did you listen to any of these beforehand?
I have not. Have you?
Yes, I listened to a couple from Glitter Court. She's like one of my favorite people that we talk to.
I haven't actually got explicit permission to play them, but she did leave messages, so I'm gonna play them, and then if she says no before this airs, I'll cut them out.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's start with my good friend Biggin, who is I think our first patron. Definitely a good friend of mine.
He's been with us since the beginning. He's probably one of the people that downloaded the Little Stranger episode.
Yeah, one of the very first episodes. So Biggin's a very large man, as his name would suggest, and here he is.
Hey guys, it's Brad. Calling because I'm so very excited. We are about to watch, my wife and I, Seven for the first time with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
Kate
that one.
has never seen Seven before. I'm very excited about this. I will let you know the results. Okay, bye.
I wonder if he calls back and lets us know the results.
That was a couple days ago. I don't think he updated.
A couple weeks ago. Wow, Brad, really dropped the ball on this one. Well, you should call back and leave us another message. Tell us how Seven went. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I can't even imagine. Has Erin, has your wife seen Seven?
Yeah, we watched it together when we did the episode.
Wow, what did she think?
I don't know. It was good.
Erin's not a fan of spooky shit.
Yeah.
Especially not, true horror movies like that. Mm-hmm. She's real concerned about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Brad, call us back. Let us know how that goes. Here, let's see our next message.
Hi guys, welcome to the Paranormal Podcast. This is your host, Jim Harold. No, fuck you guys. What's up? This is Rojo from the Bronx. I'm calling right into the Trick or Treat review podcast, and I'm fucking pissed off because you guys gave it a 6 out of 10. I'm one of the guys that feels like that movie gets me. It's just great, and you can never go wrong with sexy werewolves. That's actually what inspired me to go after more hirsute woman. But are you guys fans of horror anthologies or not? Or are you guys more so fans of just straightforward, single character, single story kind of movies? If anything, if you are, what's your favorite horror anthology? I'm not sure if you asked it if you answered it during the podcast, because I was so angry by the grading you gave it that I had to call literally 10 minutes in. But anyway, fuck you guys. You guys are doing great. Podcast is great. And thanks for that, what is it, Patreon card you sent me with a baby duck on it calling me a nasty bitch. Now my mom thinks I'm a queer. Alrighty. Peace.
Dude, I don't know what it is about Rojo. He's
a wild card. I love the phrase, fuck you, you guys are doing great.
What is a hirsute? Like, okay, this is the weird thing for me about Rojo, is he's like this supreme perv who's called in doing all kinds of weird voices and shit, and then he busts out weird words that even I've never heard. I'm a writer. I've never heard the word hirsute.
Really?
What is it?
It means just hairy. Someone that's hairy.
Okay. And then...
it's an impressive vocab word.
The dude is so well spoken, but also kind of retarded. And
I mean, that's kind of the brand of this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, no, well spoken retards. Oh my god. A little taste. So Rojo got signed up to become a patron, and I did what I do with all patrons. I asked them for their address so that I can come to their house and fucking kill them. No. I sent them a thank you card with some HMT stickers that they get for signing up. Mm-hmm. And
the killing comes later.
And that's it's being planned. And so right now the cards that I have are just cute little baby animal cards. Uh-huh. And so he got a little baby duck, and I called him a nasty bitch.
One of my absolute favorite things to do is to buy the wrong card and then cross it out.
Oh, I love it.
And then write the thing.
Yeah.
It's like get a condolences card. For happy birthday. I
like to get a bigger number that you can still make fit into the correct number.
Happy,
39th birthday.
39th birthday.
And then turn the 9 into a 0. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's anything to make it look like I've done less effort when in actuality it takes me more effort.
How much effort do you take in picking out a card for your wife for holidays?
If I remember to, not much.
I'm saying you walk into the store,
yeah.
You go to the aisle. How long does it take you to get a card?
Pretty quick. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
It's like, that one works. It's goofy. Like, all I have to do is look for a funny one.
Yeah.
That's all. She doesn't want some. Occasionally, if I'm like feeling poetic, and be like, roses are red, violets are blue. I hope you have sex with me tonight, etc. too.
Because my balls are also blue.
Are super blue.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes me like zero time. Like, especially if it's like Valentine's or something that's kind of just more of a made up holiday, you know?
Yeah.
If it's not her birthday.
Yeah.
Then it's literally like, all right, this one has a poem. Bitches love poems.
My insufferable, terrible grandmother, who I hated and I'm glad she's dead, was born on Valentine's Day, and she was insufferable about it. Imagine having 90 plus birthdays and still having the balls to be like, I was born on Valentine's Day, making a big deal about because I'm such a loving, kind person. Every year you got to hear this weird fucking little speech about like, Valentine's Day is the day of my birth. It's because I'm a romantic and I'm very kind. You stupid bitch. So let's hear from our next caller.
Hey guys, it's your boy Manny at your Patreon, and I just finished our Trick or Treat episode. Loved it, and great timing that you guys released it before Halloween. Pretty good. And I also wanted to talk about the fucking stupid ass shitty one reviews you guys got, because y'all don't deserve that. Those people, I don't know what to say. If it was a woman or a guy who wrote them, they need some pussy or dick in their life, because, man, those were pretty fucking harsh.
Amen.
Like, you guys' sense of humor is probably the best thing. It's like the highlight of the show. And I love it. If they can't handle it, it's not for them, so they're fucking weird. But I just wanted to say that those one-star reviews should not get to you guys, because you guys are excellent. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you guys. Keep that shit. And horror and porno is the best thing on this planet. I don't want to make this message long, but you guys are doing great. And then fuck those one-star reviews, because you don't deserve that shit. Love you guys.
I got to tell you,
I think Manny's another Patreon member.
Yeah, he is.
Manny's great.
And he's also local. He's from Vancouver, so stay safe, Manny. After our last episode where we're super salty about our 3 one-star reviews in a row, as kind of expected, but still kind of surprised at how vocal people were. Lots of women came to our defense on our horror movie group because they like us, because they're following us, but they're like, yeah, I mean, we love it. I mean, it's got blue humor, and it's not. Of course, horror porno is uncomfortable, but that's kind of the point. It's also funny. You know?
I mean, well, and this is that was my argument to you when you were like, "Oh no, they're right. All these bad reviews, they're right." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, they're right about the thing that they're right about, but our audience doesn't. Our audience appreciates this stuff,
right?
Yeah, which is." You know, I mean, which is basically just us being dicks.
You're just such a dick, David.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of outpouring of people saying, you know, that they support us and our poor taste humor.
Yeah, I like that. I like that we have fans like Manny and Rojo who, oh man, they're gonna defend us no matter what, except for Rojo, who's probably gonna murder us for our 6 out of. Since when is that a bad score? It's just it's above average. But to be honest with you,
Ew.
Yeah,
I don't think we answered this question if we like anthology movies.
Oh yeah.
The answer is no. I don't like anthology movies more than just a standalone story.
I mean, yeah. So, like Creepshow, the original is great. I like it plenty. Would I like it more than a really good single story movie? No.
Yeah.
No. It's a sideshow. It's an attraction.
Yeah.
It's something unique and interesting, but not fabulous.
Right.
And I don't think it can be fabulous.
Right.
It's a different. It can be fabulous for what it is, but you can't put it up against a single story movie. So yeah, let's see here. Let's next caller.
What's up, guys? This is Rojo from the Bronx, and I'm sorry for calling you so much. I just finished the Trick or Treat podcast. I had to pause it because I was at a lunch at this fucking job here. But now I'm calling in reaction to the fucking bitch who sent those dirty, rude, low-life messages criticizing you guys. Man, fuck her! That's it. That's all I gotta say. Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck her and also fuck you guys.
Man, I gotta meet Rojo. He's a real character. You know?
Where does he live?
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask him.
He might be in, like, it sounds like kind of a New Jersey-ish accent, maybe.
Somewhere
or
in the, yeah.
Maybe
East
maybe
Coast.
maybe like Philadelphia.
Boston.
Oh, that's probably it, like Southie.
Yeah. Rojo from the Bronx, from Boston.
Right. What was that last part? Okay, next caller. Yeah, thanks for saying those things, Rojo.
Hello there. So I don't necessarily expect us to be on the show or anything like that. I just wanted to say that, so this is glittercore_55 from Instagram. And I know I harassed you quite a bit not that long ago, but unfortunately I'm a medical provider and COVID has been increasing in my state. So I've been quite busy and have left you alone. I'm sure you're grateful for that. But anyway, I had a really rough day and you guys make my day so much better. And I was listening to your recent Trick or Treat review, and strangely enough, I had literally been looking for that movie on a free forum for a long time. I hadn't found it, but I did find it in my local library because they're awesome. Watched it before the review came out today, which was interesting timing. Was not too impressed with the movie, but was concerned at the review that you guys had that several people with 1-star reviews and complaints. And as a female, honestly, I'm all woman. I mean, I have big tits and a tiny vagina, and I love being a woman, and my husband's probably more feminist than I am. But, you know, I don't know if it's because I've been watching horror movies since I was 2 or 3 years of age and feel like I've learned a lot from them and love them to death, but I feel like people just don't get it. I don't know. I feel like people want to complain about anything. I am, with the position I have, I completely agree there are plenty of gender irregularities that are not there. Being a female provider, often I run into situations where, like, for example, my male radiology tech will go in and the patient will, they are the doctor because he's an older male. But yet I'm a younger female and I'm the actual provider, providing them care for that day. And there's an inequality. I do understand that. I get that. I feel it on a day-to-day basis in my career. But with horror movies, geez, I feel like I learned a lot from them growing up. I feel like, first and foremost, I feel like I learned that if I was going to...
And that's where it cuts off.
And then she leaves another one next.
Oh, okay. So we go into the next one here.
This one I listened to while Aaron was in the room, and we laughed out loud.
I love that she's a woman with big tits and a tiny vagina, self-described. Like, those are her words.
I mean, the balls to just be self-described that. Even if it's true, it's like, be like, hey, man, I'm just normal, everyday guy.
With a massive fucking donkey dick.
I'm a 6 foot tall, dark and handsome, giant dicked guy.
I bleed so hard every month. Okay, here's part 2.
Hey, this is glittercore_55 from Instagram. I just got cut off because I think I was rambling, which is very like me. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I think watching horror movies at a young age definitely did help me become not a slut, because I remember all the sluts in the horror movies got killed.
Don't slut shame.
Pretty quickly. So I definitely did not even have my first kiss till I was about 19 years of age, which I do not regret. But anyway, also I wanted to say that I think boobies are more prominent in horror films because boobies are beautiful.
True.
And as a female who is not a lesbian, I mean, I suck a lot of dick, so I'm definitely not a lesbian, and it's only my husband's dick. But anyway, boobies are beautiful, so why not show them in horror movies and any movies? And dicks are fucking ugly. Like, dick and balls? Come on. Who wants to fucking see that shit? I've seen it in some old horror movies from like the 70s, and it's like, okay, cool. They showed it, which is nice because that's like equality. But at the same time, it's like, ew, gross. That's grosser than the fucking blood and gut. So that's my take on it. And I love horror movies, and I love cocks, but I don't like necessarily seeing them in horror movies. I think boobs are beautiful as a very straight woman, and I think they're okay in horror movies. And again, I think there's lots.
Yeah, Glittercore is probably one of my favorite people we've messaged on Instagram.
Okay, so she was talking to me the other night, and she's like, boobs are great. And I was like, I agree. And she's like, dicks are awful. And I was like, I agree. And
she's like,
and then she
have you ever
assaulted me. She assaulted me with like 30 pictures of dudes' taints and nuts.
She says specifically, have you ever seen like how horrible someone's ball sack looks from behind?
I was like, no. And then bam, 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 bam. Like every picture that's ever been taken of a dude from behind.
Yeah, just the hangiest balls.
It shows up in our Instagram. Oh God, I hope more people don't do this. But I just
didn't even think of that.
I just put the phone away. I was like, I am not looking at this anymore.
Yeah. She's so great. I love talking with her on Instagram because she does not shy away from taboo subjects.
Well, no, I mean, if you got big tits and a tiny vagina, you're you're ready to rock. I guess.
And she also bragged how her husband on Instagram. She bragged how her husband had small scrotum. So it wasn't as bad as these hangy balls that she was showing us.
Well, I mean, there's nothing Manscaped can do for me there, I guess. Okay, I think this may be the last message here. Here we go.
Hey, it's your boy Jason. I had a weird question for you guys because, it's just been on my mind. And, a while back, I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out. And as usual, when you go get your wisdom teeth taken out, they have to take an x-ray of your mouth. Now, here's the funny part that kind of comes into this. So the nurse has me sit down in this little chair or whatever that they use to x-ray your mouth, and the thing wasn't adjusted right. So I'm sitting there in the chair, and she is trying to adjust, like, everything. I don't know why it wasn't already adjusted when I first sat down, but anyways, she's trying to adjust everything. Well, here's the thing. She basically has her boobs, like, right into my freaking face, and I'm trying,
Rock
for
solid.
dear God, to, like, look anywhere but in front of me, because the whole time she's trying to adjust everything, so she's, like, over me, and I'm just thinking, lady, I ain't looking, I ain't doing anything, but you're kind of in my space, if you get what I'm saying. So my question to you guys is, what do you do in that situation?
Oh, yay, David! Yay! Oh, yay, David! Yay!
Yeah, I mean, the answer is very simple. I just look at the boobs.
Just soak it in.
Yeah.
I mean,
like that's just like a bowl full of free candy, you know? You just, like, you're blameless.
I mean,
it's right in front of your face. It's like literally your entire field of view is covered with boobs. You're
at
gonna
this
look
point,
at
I
boobs.
have to ask, was she asking for it? Like, kind of. She dressed so provocatively. And
look at what she was wearing. Scrubs.
And then she puts them way up in my grill. You know, I mean, maybe she was just into you.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you just lean forward and go,
oh, dear. Oh, Bryce.
All right.
Bryce.
Looking forward to those 1-star reviews.
Oh, you're such a dick, David. David.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. In all seriousness, if that happened, I mean, she knows what's going on.
And if
probably
she
doesn't mind.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
And I don't know how to answer this exactly.
I have the question of, like, the more subtle things where it's like the hairdresser leaning over you with, like, her boobs grazing your arm. Like, that just, I don't know how to feel about that. You know?
What?
You know?
No.
You ever get in a situation where, yeah, like you're getting your hair cut or someone's like like the dentist technician or something, and their boobs just graze your arm. It's like, you ever had that happen? Is that just me that notices that?
I mean, this is interesting to me. I keyed in on
hyper aware.
I keyed in on this because it sounded interesting. Because I can't say I've ever necessarily noticed that. Now there are situations if somebody's like jamming their tits into me, I'm like, she's jamming her tits into me. But a graze or just like something that would happen in a dentist chair or at a haircut, I wouldn't notice that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very utilitarian. It's not like there's no sex in it in the intent.
But there kind of is for Bryce.
But it's like
a little bit though.
I don't want to feel excited about this.
Yeah, you do.
But I do.
You tried parallel parking in a burqa, David.
Yeah, it's hard. I gotta get all these out. You know, I mean, what I'm trying to say is women's clothing is a lot more for show than men's clothing. I mean, just look at the way I dress. I barely wear a shirt in here.
What if there's a trend in the future where there's just a hole in men's pants for their balls to poke through?
Oh, God.
Just let the ball, man. Actually, think about
finally a future I can buy into.
Yeah, just having that would really like create empathy among the sexes, because like women complaining about manspreading. Like,
are we still even thinking about manspreading at this point?
I don't think so. But I'm gonna just call back to it. Like, if you could see the balls flopped out there, you could be like, oh, that guy has gigantic hangy balls. Like, he can't just squish them together.
Look at his teeny tiny little dick and his big massive balls.
No, I'm not.
I feel sorry for that man.
I don't think. Let me be clear. The dick would stay inside. It would be just the scrotum. There'd just be a scrotum hole.
My
with the scrotum hanging out, so you'd be walking around in jeans, and then your balls would also be out.
Trademark, patent pending.
It'd be more healthy too. I mean, people would be more
virulent.
Virulent.
I don't need any more kids around here. I feel like I could impregnate ladies just by them looking at me. If that was the case.
Well, anyways, thanks for calling. Leave a voicemail. If you're another big boobied, tiny vagina woman, let us know by calling
682-253-4468 or 682-253-4HM. baby. Thank you again for listening to the show. We love you very much. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and share it with your friends, because that is the only way that we grow. If you'd like to support the show, head on over to manscaped.com. Use that HMT code at checkout. Get 20% off and free shipping. And in particular, go to Shudder, enter HMT at checkout. Get 30 days free of Shudder. That's free streaming of all kinds of horror movies, and actually pay for it afterwards, because that'll help us a lot too. So that's really the main goal. And if you want to support us, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/horrormovietalk. Also, you can support us by heading to horrormovietalk.com and clicking the green button at the top of the site that says buy stuff on Amazon. A little bit of that will go to supporting the show, and it's no extra cost to you.
Thanks again to new patrons Andrew the Roberts and Martin S.
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting the show, and we look forward to seeing you right after this on the podcast that we record after normal episodes called the Afterpod. So without any further ado, call us at 682-253-4468, and we love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson. Kiss Bryce Hansen. Look at them hot kids, Chris Henson. Masturbate with a crucifix, exorcist. Face huggers, chest bursters, alien. Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipedes. David Doobie Day, scare no expert. And go with fucks hard, professional sexpert. Afterpods, taglines, and porno flicks. American Psycho, them guys pretty sick. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Train addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargained for. Got a pickle to dickle, machines tickle bitties. Killer on the phone, ain't no Sharon Stone. Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and organs. Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona. Green River Killer, because reasons. Hallway of poop monster kids screaming. Ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary. 30-day shutter and jump scares, they fucking scary. Time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes. Use their white socks to catch their loads. To show them one titty, pretty. Paganism you should worship, they Teflon dicks. Pacific Northwest
man.